This is the Midea EasyCool Smart Inverter Air Conditioner. It has a clean, modern look with that signature U-shaped profile, so your window sash slides down between the two halves. The body is compact for its capacity at about 22 by 19 by 14 inches, and it weighs around 58 pounds. The front panel is simple, the fins on the back are exposed and delicate, and the whole frame feels more like a modern gadget than a clunky appliance. From my experience, the shape isn't just for style. It keeps the loud compressor outside the room, which matters a lot once it's running. Key features that stood out to me are the inverter compressor, the U-shaped window design, Wi-Fi control with a solid remote, Energy Star efficiency, and a heat mode for shoulder seasons. Quick explainer if you're new to this. An inverter compressor doesn't just turn on and off. It ramps up and down to hold a steady temperature. That avoids big swings and saves power because it can cruise at a lower wattage once the room is cool. BTU is a sizing number for cooling power. 12,000 BTU is generally rated for spaces up to about 550 square feet. Noise is listed at 58 dB, which is a normal conversation level, and in practice it sounds softer because the loud part sits outside the glass. It runs on a standard 115-volt outlet, which is convenient in most homes. In my opinion, the quiet operation is the main reason to pick this model. Once it settled into a steady pace, I could watch TV and talk without raising my voice. Sleep was easy with it set to a low fan speed. The U-shape is doing a lot of work here. The compressor hum is outside, and the glass acts as a barrier. I also like that I can still open and close the window, which I can't do with a typical box-style unit. From my experience, installation took longer than a regular window AC. It isn't just lift and drop. You mount a support bracket on the sill first, then slide the unit onto it, and then seal the sides and top. The included foam and side rails are fine, but I needed extra weather stripping to get a tight seal. If your windowsill is unusual, plan for a little creativity. I'd have a second person help with the lift, not because it's impossible solo, but because it's safer and makes the alignment easier. The good news is that reinstalling after that first time is much faster. Performance has been strong, especially in moderate to hot weather. I've seen it blast air in the mid-50s Fahrenheit at the vent during initial cooldown, and then it tapers to a gentle, steady flow. You can almost feel the inverter logic. Power ramps high to pull the room down, then dials back to maintain. That saves energy and avoids that stop-start rumble you get on older units. The remote is one of the better ones I've used. Big buttons, backlit screen, easy to read in a dark room. The app adds scheduling and voice control, which I like for arriving home to a pre-cooled space. I did run into occasional Wi-Fi dropouts, and the app layout could be cleaner, but once set up, it's mostly dependable. When it does disconnect, I usually just power cycle the unit or my router and it comes back. Let me break down the heat function in simple terms. This model includes a supplemental heat mode. It's there to take the edge off on chilly mornings or cool evenings. It's not designed to replace a main heater in a cold climate, but for spring and fall it's a nice extra. I've used it to warm a home office without turning on the whole house system, and it's handy. Now for the part that took some trial and error: moisture management. Any AC will pull water out of the air and drain it outside. With this design, water collects in the base before it splashes off the fan and evaporates or drains out. In very humid stretches, I noticed water lingering and a subtle musty smell after a couple months. Cleaning deep inside is not easy, and I don't want to take anything apart that voids support. I've read reports of units getting mold on the internal fan cylinder when water sits too long, and there have been public discussions and service actions about drainage on some U-shaped models. If you're considering this, I'd check your serial number on Midea's support site and follow any care or update guidance they provide. I avoid any DIY drilling because that can damage the unit or affect safety. What has helped me is simple maintenance. Make sure the unit has a slight outward tilt so water moves toward the exterior. Run the fan on high for a little while after heavy cooling to dry the internals. Clean or replace the air filter regularly, and once in a while use a safe coil cleaner on the intake side with the unit powered off. The built-in dry mode also helps reduce humidity when the air feels sticky. These small habits kept the smell at bay for me, but I'm staying cautious during long, humid spells. If I ever smelled anything strong again, I'd contact support quickly. Airflow and temperature control feels smart most of the time, though I've seen the unit throttle to save power and fall a degree or two behind my set point on extreme heat days. Bumping the fan speed or switching out of eco mode fixes that. The airstream is focused rather than wide, so it cools the area in front quickly and the far corners a bit slower. For an open-plan 550 square foot space, the rating makes sense. But if sunlight is brutal or your insulation is weak, you'll want to close curtains and help it out. Build quality is mixed. The front and frame looks sleek and the controls feel good. The rear fins bend easily, so I was careful during install. The bracket is sturdy once locked in, but measuring and aligning it took patience. The installation kit and batteries are in the box, and the 2-year limited warranty is reassuring. I also like that I can monitor energy use. Seeing the wattage drop after cool down is both satisfying and proof the inverter is doing its job. It's perfect for bedrooms, studios, and home offices where noise drives you crazy, especially if you value the ability to open your window. It's also a good fit if you only have 115-volt outlets and need serious cooling without running a dedicated circuit. If you're tech-friendly and comfortable with an initial setup that's more involved, you'll probably enjoy the way it runs day to day. I'd recommend this for someone who ranks quiet and efficiency at the top, and who lives in a climate that isn't humid for months on end. If you're in a very humid area, be realistic about maintenance, keep an eye on odor, and follow Midea's guidance on drainage and care. If you want a pure, install-it-and-forget-it unit with zero fuss, or your space is unusually challenging, you might look at alternatives, or even consider a mini-split. In my opinion, Midea pushed window ACs forward with the U-shaped inverter idea. The daily comfort is real: low noise, steady temperature, and smart control. The trade-off is that installation can test your patience, the app can be clunky, and moisture management needs attention, especially over a long, humid summer. If you go in knowing those points, the experience can be great. In conclusion, the Midea EasyCool Smart Inverter Air Conditioner Window Unit with heat lands on my short list for quiet living spaces up to about 550 square feet. The efficiency, the sound profile, and the flexible control make it a strong performer. Just be ready to spend extra time on the initial setup, add better ceiling foam if needed, and maintain good airflow and drainage. That's how you get the best out of it. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more practical reviews and tips, and drop your questions or your own experience in the comments so we can compare notes. Thank you for watching.